Welcome to another episode of the Becky Choice podcast shows. So I am streaming live here on Facebook in my Facebook group. If you have not joined my Facebook group, I regularly do the live podcasting in the Facebook group. So if you have any questions, then you can drop it in the comments. And if you're live there, say hello to me. And then if you have any questions, yeah, drop it in there, and then I will answer it as I go through the podcast. But thank you for tuning in and listening to this episode while you're walking, while you're washing dishes. And the other day, my client was washing the dishes and just listened to one of my video, and she was like, "Wow, she got so inspired and she wanted to work out again, or like she wants to, even though she fell off the track, and she wants to, go all in now after listening to the podcast or the video that she was watching." So yeah. Oh, Emily, you just bought my book. Thank you so much. Yes, I do have a book on Amazon. It's called The Diastasis Recti Secret for New Moms. There are over 50 five-star reviews on Amazon. It's only, I actually haven't, I don't even know. I don't look at that book very often. I think it's about $11 or $12 on Amazon. So grab it. There's also a Kindle version of it, or you can get the physical real book that Amazon will send it to you. Yeah, so that's all if you are not able to join my coaching program, then there are lots of resources available for you, whether it is my book, the Diastasis Recti Secrets, whether it is my podcast that you're listening to right now, or joining this Facebook group, or my Instagram. So I post a lot of valuable contents on my Instagram, whether it is to help you with your diastasis, postpartum journey, exercises, nutritions, right? Even just like silly motherhood, raising the two kids that I have. So I have everything on my Instagram. So yeah, if you haven't followed me, go ahead and join the community. It's Becky Choi _. All right, enough of the intro, but I'm really happy that you're here. Thank you for tuning in. Today I wanted to talk about how to actually heal your diastasis recti. So I posted a post maybe last week about how to actually heal your diastasis recti, and I gave 7 tips on it. And I got a lot of positive comments and positive feedback about this. So I really wanted to elaborate on it and go more in depth into each details so that you understand that how to actually get started, and how to actually heal the way that maybe nobody ever taught you about. So let's get started. Now, I hope that if you're listening to this, you know what diastasis recti is. Maybe you have an idea. Maybe the physical therapist told you, or your doctor told you that you have it, and maybe you know the gap, how wide it is. Now, then you just kind of got confused on, where to start, or maybe you have been doing a bunch of exercises, but you're just kind of spinning around the circle and you don't know what to do from here, and you're not seeing the result you're looking for. Here is what I want you to listen to this podcast. All right. Now there are 7 tips, and I will go over each in details. Now, the very first one I talked about in the post is walking 10,000 steps a day. You need movement in your day. Like you might be thinking like, healing diastasis recti, it's all about core exercises. Oh, how to like breathe, how to like engage the core, blah, blah, blah. Like those are important, right? That is part of the equations. However, you need to get out and move and walk. Your hips is meant to be moving, not meant to be sitting on your desk, or sitting at your desk and just sitting all day. You know how much time we spend like sitting down a day? It's a lot of time. And a lot of the time when I ask my clients, or my community, whether how much they actually walk, you'll be surprised, it's only 3,000 to 4,000 steps a day. And that's very, very little of steps. And imagine like your whole like 20, you spend 8 hours sleeping, and then you spend another 6 hours or even more, 8 hours, like you're just sitting. Your movement, you need to move more. You need to move the body. For one, you need to lose that body weight. Most of us has some body weights that, like the baby weight, that we still need to get rid of, right? Even whether it is 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds or more. Movement is low impact. It doesn't gonna really impact your diastasis recti, but also it helps you to lose that baby fat. It helps you to circulate your blood. It helps you to just increase your cardios, right? So it's a really good exercise that anybody can do. You just have to set your mind to it, to do that walk. Aim for 10,000 steps, but maybe 6,000 to 7,000 steps if you are the one that you never really move too much. 7,000 steps is where I really want you to start. Get moving. The more you move, the more endorphin you're gonna come in. You're gonna feel good. And I would encourage you to walk outside too, because as you're walking outside, you can push your baby's gonna sleep in the stroller, and you're gonna get more things done because your head is gonna get more clear. You're gonna have more clarity in your mind that, oh, okay, you know what, this is what I want to do. Here's my vision. This is my fitness goal. I wanted to wear that bathing suits to go swimming this summer. Like, you're gonna think as you're walking outside. You can listen to a podcast like this, or any podcast that is interesting of you, and you can push your baby. You are like killing, mom, we don't have time, but you're doing three things. One stone kill three birds, right, in the Chinese proverb. So it's really, really good to just go out and walk and breathe that fresh air, and for your hip to move. A lot of the time our hips are like kind of out of alignment too after giving birth. The more you walk, the better you will feel. So that's number one for you. So many components go into the walking. It's not just because to walk is to walk. There's so many things, as I explained earlier, that is so beneficial. Walking is, anybody can do. It's free. You don't have to cost anything. If it's raining outside, then yeah, you can do like a little dance party at home. Like, play up YouTube videos where it's dance party, or play a favorite song, Frozen, or whatever your songs like, your kids like, and dance around with her. Right? Get that 6,000 to 7,000 steps, get started, and with a stretch goal to 10,000 steps. We're in Canada, Toronto, so it's beautiful weather most of the time, hopefully now from here onward. So walking out and about is something so enjoyable. So number one. Now the number two, to actually heal your diastasis recti, it's not an exercise, it's actually your nutrition. Bloat reducing strategy. You need to reduce the bloating, because when you have diastasis, that gap in between that muscles here, there is a gap there. Your organ is just right behind it. Your intestine, right? It's all behind it. If you are bloated all the time, it's gonna push the intestine outward. You're gonna feel super bloated, and it's gonna make your belly a lot more rounded than you should, right? Even if you don't have any weights to lose, because you're bloated, it's gonna push your stomach out when you have that loose skin, loose connective tissues in the front. The more you push it out, then you're not helping yourself from the exercises, because the extra puffiness in the front is not gonna help you when you're doing the exercises. Then you can't really tell, like, it's harder for you to feel when you're so bloated, right? When you're so when that belly area is like very puffy, so it's hard for you to do exercises. But also importantly, right, we all want to have the flatter tummy, right? Even, let's say, if I'm asking you, let's say your DR stay at, let's say, 3 fingers, 1 knuckle, whatever, but you have a flat stomach, you feel happier, right? You feel a lot happier, right? So like you will want to work on the nutritions. First of all, to lose the weight. Yes, if you have weights to lose, definitely nutrition is the must to help you to lose the weight. And secondly is to do the bloat reducing meals, meal plans, bloat reducing. Work on things that is your food you're sensitive to it. Some of you might have IBS, some of you might have SIBO, some of you might have constipations and other digestive issues. So those needs to be addressed as part of the equations to healing a diastasis recti. Because even if your gut is healing well, right? The diastasis is healing well, like I was mentioned earlier. You could heal well, but if you are constantly constipated, you have like bloating, back up bloating inside of you, right? You're passing wind, you're burping, right? It's uncomfortable for you. So that bloat will always go into the weakest part of our core, and the weakest part of our core is most likely that belly buttons area, that stomach area, right? And so yeah, that's want you to think about reducing the blow, what is triggering you. And a lot of the time it could be a gluten sensitivity, could be dairy, it could be food that you're digesting that you're not digesting well. It could be like broccolis, kale, like those hard to digest vegetables. Beans could be one of it if you eat too much, right? Sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, stevia, like those are artificial stuff. And if you're eating a lot of those, like chewing gums and like even packaged food that you don't realize that they might have like sweetener, and like even though they might be organic and they might package it to be super healthy, but they would have sweetener in there. They would have stuff that is causing you blow and you don't even realize it. And of course processed food and canola oil, sunflower oil, seed oil, those are very inflammatory for your body, and you need to figure out what is that is causing you to bloat. And it's important for you to find out so then you can actually have that flatter tummy, work with you on the exercises that you do, and actually see that result quicker, right? You can do all the exercises, but if you're not working on your nutrition, you're not going to see that difference outside. You might feel the difference internally, sure, but again, we depending on what your goals are, if you don't care how you look, right, then just working on the core to be functional and to be strong, it could be good enough for you. But I'm just giving you the idea that if you're not working on the nutritions, then that roundness of the belly will not go away. All right, so the number 3 thing to actually heal your diastasis recti is to work on mind to body muscles connections. So you might have heard this term quite a bit now, it's floating around in the internet. Mind to muscles connections, mind to our muscles, our core muscles, connecting it. Sometimes after pregnancy, you just kind of skip. A lot of time when I tell my clients, okay, can you pull your belly button in? They can't do it because it will skip that belly buttons area, and all they could feel is the upper abs area, or maybe just like skip that belly button and all the way just like on the pelvic floor area where they can actually pull in, but they cannot pull in the belly buttons area. They have a hard time. So the mind to muscles connection isn't there because your mind is telling you, I want to engage the belly buttons, but your muscle is not reacting to it. It's not engaging the belly button. So that's why it's important for you to work on the mind to muscles connection. And how I teach my clients is through breathing first, lots and lots of breathing. If you ask any of my clients, like, I'm the breathing queen. I'm like it's a breathing madness for them, but they understand, like they can see that it was working really well for them, and they can actually connect to the right core muscles. They can actually connect to the belly button. They can actually distinguish and isolate maybe just the pelvic floor and like how much percentage of that they need to lift in, because everybody is a little different when it comes to that, especially if you have the pelvic floor issue. And I see Paula, you have questions about pelvic floor. I'll answer that in a moment. And so that's why if you have like a tight pelvic floor, loose pelvic floor, C-sections, cesarean birth, those are all a little different. And if you're leaking, if you're back pain, so those are part of the equations on like how to actually connect to your breath, to engage the core, to actually lift the pelvic floor. Or maybe you don't do the lifting of the pelvic floor. It is unique to you, and you need to, but first of all, just focus on that mind to muscles. Like if I'm telling you to pull in just the upper abs, that shows the muscles right underneath your ribs cage, are you able to do that? Now, if I tell you, can you lift tiny bit, like 30% of your pelvic floor area, can you feel that lift? Like lifting, let's say like you imagining you're lifting blueberries up with your pelvic floor, with your vagina, okay? Can you lift up blueberries up? Can you feel that while you're listening to me? Now, if I tell you, can you just engage your lower belly? Are you able to do that? And then finally, if I ask you to just engage the belly button, to pull the belly button toward your spine, can you do that without gripping your ribs, right? Sometimes it's a cheating because you might be feeling you're pulling the belly button to your ribs, but when you're looking at your mirror, your rib cage completely like sinks in there, like that area, like the upper abs area, like completely sinks in. That's cheating because your dominant muscles, which is your upper abs, are taking over, and your belly button core muscles are not doing anything or doing very little work. So that's where I want you to work on the mind to muscles connections. Now that leads me to number 4, work out in front of the mirror, because when you work out in front of the mirror, you can actually see if you're doming, if you're bulging, if you're gripping your ribs, how's your alignment, your posture. Those are so important. I wished I knew this, like such a simple tip when I first started my exercises. I had no clue what I was doing. Well, I mean I was following workouts, but then I didn't know how I looked. Like I didn't know how my posture looked. My alignment was so out of whack, and luckily I didn't injure myself. But like I realized later when I was working out in front of the mirror, like how bad my posture looked, and no wonder I couldn't heal the diastasis recti. The way it could have been better, right? Like I didn't know how to engage those muscles because my alignment was just out. Like my posture wasn't right. I wasn't able to engage properly because my alignment was out. So like I want you to, if you wanted to actually heal your diastasis recti, do your workout beside a mirror. Now if you don't have a full body mirror, I know it's hard. I had to be quite creative when it comes to the mirror because I usually worked out with my kids back in the days, and then like I didn't have a mirror in the living room. I worked out in the living room. I don't want the mirror to fall on them, so it was a little difficult. I didn't want it to hang it on the wall, and then so what I end up is I used my iPad. And turn on the camera. So then it's a bigger screen than just a phone. I use my iPad and then I can turn on the camera. I can actually see myself to see how I was doing. And then if there were some area I couldn't see it on the iPad, then I record myself. So then I know I can play back and I can see, okay, what I was doing. Was I doming? Was I bulging? How was my back? Is my back touching the floor? So those are the things. And then, that's how I kind of corrected myself, self-taught. So that's a little trick for you if you wanted to actually be serious and work on that. Now, the number fifth thing is this is the one that you are probably doing right now and wondering, okay, what can I do next? What should I do? Is to increase the intensity of your exercises. So I mean, exercise is so much exercises online, and I mean, it's not about a particular exercise that you need to do, but it's all the steps involved into getting you to that exercises. That are you able to do the exercises correctly with the right alignment, with the posture, with the right breathing, with the right core engagement? Leading up to that, how far of a limit can you reach before you're doming, before you're bulging, before the pressure is trying to push to your pelvic floor? So those are the things that you wanted to watch out and look for. It's not a particular exercise, because this exercise will not work for you but will work very well for her. So it's not about that. It's not about what exercises, it's how you execute the exercises, how you perform the exercises. That is the most important task for you, and you will want to challenge yourself and not be scared and fearful, because all these internet marketing outside is like scare the death out of you. It's like you will worsen your diastasis if you do this wrong. But if you progressively do your exercises, increase the intensity one step at a time, continue to challenge yourself to your limit, a little bit over your limit, you are gonna see the results, because your muscle is sore, your muscle is reacting, is responding to your core. And how you're going to measure is, for one, is looking at your gap and the depth of the diastasis recti. So I don't know if you follow me long enough, you should know for sure what the depth are. But finger gaps if you're looking at the video, is, just finger gap placed on your belly button, but the depth is actually your finger, your whole finger sinking, like one whole finger sinking into the gap. How deep can the finger sink into the gaps? Is it a nail deep? Is it up to your knuckle? Is it up to your second knuckle? Or is it the whole entire length of the finger can sink in, which like you can actually reach your spine? I just had a client transformations 2 days ago. You can go check it out. She had 5 to 6 fingers gap and a whole full finger length. So it's very severe DR. Now, those are the things you wanted to measure your success on, like how many fingers gap is it coming together, how shallow your depth is becoming, like how much more shallower your depth is becoming. So those are part of the equation, sure, but you also want to look at your overall energy. Those are like other, like the biofeedback. Do you sleep better? Do you have more energy? Do you have more confidence? Do you look, are you more toned everywhere? Right? Usually the core is the last thing and the belly button is the last thing to heal, but like, do you feel those good feedback everywhere around you? Like, you have more energy, you leak less, you're no more leaking, or your back pain is gone. So those are the good feedback along with that DR specifically, right? DR, you can pull in closer, you can become shallower, your tummy will become flatter, but it doesn't get flat if you have weights to lose and if you're not working on your bloat, on your nutrition. So that's what I would say about the exercise. Now, the number 6 thing is try to so sleep and stress. To actually heal your diastasis recti, you do want to get some sleep and de-stress yourself. I know it's very stressful in this living in this society in this modern day. My heart felt for those children in the school shooting. So I mean, it's so stressful. I can't imagine what the moms or parent has to go through. We all may be a little scared nowadays what's going to happen, and maybe we're not as optimistic about the future and we stress about it. But it is important for you to stress less. Stress is not helping for anything, and neither would it help you with your fitness goal. And so to help you with de-stress, whether it's to take a shower, to go for a coffee shop, go for coffee at the coffee shop, go for a walk, which bring back to the number 1, walking more, and then sleep more. Sleep if you can. If you have kids, they're not sleeping, or they have to sleep with you at nighttime, or they might be going through regressions. I know first year, second year, it's a lot of things going on, but try to take that nap and get the support that you need from your husband or your spouse or your parents, or whatever. Maybe hire a nanny. So that will really give you that sanity that you can actually focus on yourself, right? Sleep. We need to sleep. It's not selfish to sleep. You need sleep to function. You need sleep in order to do things well. You need sleep in order to do things with quality, because your mind is more clear and you can think better. You can make better decisions. So sleep is very important. And yeah, like I would, if sleep is a major problem because of a lot of the things with the baby and kids, I would really suggest to ask for some help, hire some help. That would really go a long way. Or maybe use that time, that nutrition time, because the other timing that might be a little bit consuming is prepping the meals, right? Meal planning, prepping, those might be hard. Then you might consider getting delivery service, or like getting meals already shopped for you and delivered to you. So then you can save that extra time. It's not going to be forever, but it's going to help you that temporarily, that this process you're trying to work on yourself, right? So it's thinking about how you can buy back some time so you can work on yourself, work on sleep, work on just like going for a coffee or going get a hair done, right? Those are not selfish things. Those are things that you got yourself caring. You take care of yourself so then you can show up better. Show up as you, as a mom, as a warrior. And this really leads me to the last point on this video and this notes on how to actually heal your diastasis recti. Is actually love yourself. Feel less guilty. Love yourself. You deserve every ounce of success and love and support. You deserve a deserving person. You made a miracle baby. Our body is able to to nourish and give birth to a baby is a miracle in itself. And I want you to understand how amazing and how powerful that is for you. And you don't need to feel every ounce of guilty that if you do this, you're not loving your children. If you do that, you're not giving the time to your children. That doesn't mean it. They can be both here. You love your children and also you take care of yourself. You are a role model for them, and you are gonna feel really good when you come out from the other bridge and look back. I'm like, you know what, I did this, even though it was a little difficult, even though I didn't really think I had the time, but I was creative, I made it work. So I'll leave it that for you, and I hope that this video is very helpful for you in terms of getting you started and healing your diastasis recti and knowing what you need to do. And then Paula, if you have a question, I just had a quiz about pelvic floor. I discovered that it is also an issue with my lower belly pooch. What exercise do you recommend? And so I hope that this video kind of recommend or kind of gave you that tips on what to do. Because you have a quiz about pelvic floor. I don't know what that result is. Is it too tight? Is it too loose? Right? Is it just right? Right? Do you have leaking? Right? So those are the things I wanted to know, and it's just hard for me to prescribe anything for you. But start with the 7 points that I suggested, and that would be very helpful for you. But if you do want to work with me one-on-one in my Tummy Warrior coaching program, where it's a 4 months coaching program, I'll help you step by steps in terms of guiding you on everything that we talked about, then you can always reach out to me at my Instagram. I'm always there. But if you also wanting to know more information, just drop a comment here below. Ready, I'm ready. Type the word I am ready, then I know what to send to you in your DM or in your messenger. If you don't have Instagram, then I know what to do. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Tuesday and have fun. Enjoy the weather. I'm not sure how the weather is for you, but it's beautiful here. But it's actually going to be 40 degree. They say 40 degree, but Toronto, like I grew up in Asia, in Hong Kong, so the heat doesn't really bother me. So whenever they say that they are hot, they are very hot here, it's never comparable to Asia. And it's only like 2 hours that it's like really that hot. But yeah, anyways, enjoy your weather. Have a nice weekend. Benu, right? Did I say your name correctly, Benu? Okay, I'll message you. And if you like this episode, please share it with your mom's friend, or like mama who just gave birth, and maybe moms who are wondering what diastasis recti is. This will be very helpful for them, and share the script with them. And yeah, I hope you find it valuable for you and her too. All right, thank you. Talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.